welcome to this week's episode of Fossil Fuel Fridays. Introducing your hosts, Ken Lavin with Winter Mud and Matt Hill with Knight Energy Services.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt Hill. I'm with Knight Energy Services.
This is Ken Lavin with Winter Mud.
And we got our guest,
Justin Piper with Piper Oilfield Products and Premier Pressure Control.
There we go. This is our show, everybody.
Fossil Fuel Fridays.
Justin, thank you so much for being a victim of my show and Ken's show. We, I've just always been impressed by your presence in the oil field. Everybody knows Justin. He is always at every event pitching in to just our oil and gas network and community.
Oh, by far. You've been in our family, my family, since I started in the oil field. So your family has been my family for generations.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right. Appreciate the support, guys.
The Piper Oilfield Products line is near and dear to, just to everybody in the oil field, because we see you guys as a, just an Oklahoma company. Mm-hmm. Tell us how you guys got started.
Okay, my dad started the company in 1979 out of his apartment.
Wow.
A few months later, one of his brothers joined, and a few years later, another brother joined. So it was Piper Brothers, three brothers.
And they had been in the oil field before, I'm assuming?
Yes, yep. In very different service markets all across the U.S. and all across the world. Dad traveled internationally for a number of years for a number of companies.
This is in your blood?
Yeah.
I suppose so, yeah.
And y'all are still international to this day.
We are. We do.
Here in Oklahoma, still worldwide.
Good old Oklahoma City, America. We do quite a bit of business internationally. The majority of our business is in the lower 48 or in the States, if you will. And since 1979, we've grown to a number of locations. We currently have 6 locations across the U.S. in 6 different states, which basically serves all the major plays. I think that's pretty critical these days, being able to service the customers, on site and not be hours or days away, on product delivery and things of that nature.
Well, I'm most interested in what you service. Like, what does Piper do? What is Oilfield Products that you send out of this shop?
Okay. Piper Oilfield Products is a manufacturer's representative, and the Premier Pressure Control side is a manufacturer. So we manufacture blowout preventers and relief valves right here in Oklahoma City.
What?
Tell you a little bit of history about those product lines. In 1985, we acquired Reagan Taurus BOPs.
Okay.
And we've been manufacturing those in the late 90s, mid 90s, excuse me. We purchased the Kinsbach relief valve off of Weatherford, and we've been manufacturing the relief valves right here in Oklahoma City as well.
So for those of the people that might be watching and learning about oil and gas, like, what's something you can tell them about your business in Oklahoma and in oil and gas that they may not understand about our industry? We have where does the name Kinsbach come from? What are these pieces of equipment you're doing? You're out there. We talked earlier. High pressure oil and gas is coming out of the ground, and you do what?
So the majority of our products are after the drilling phase. It comes into production or completion, just depending on which product line.
Okay.
We represent and service and cater to almost every service company out there. So from flowback, wellhead, frac, coil tubing, snubbing, things of that nature. We also do work with a number of end users, so exploration and production companies. Again, that's a lot on the manufactured product side. But we've been seeing more and more lately in the last few years that the E&Ps, they like to acquire some of their own equipment. So
yeah, you just showed me. There's customers that they're operators, but they have their own people in house that can do some of the work.
Right.
And we just highlighted a bunch of that stuff that they're buying on their own just along this aisle here. So,
well, Justin, when I think of all the ways that our oil and gas industry has been affected and will continue to be affected by maybe the perception outside of our industry or just our industry changing and adapting in general, what do you guys see as a way forward for Piper? Are you diversifying or are you creating new equipment?
Right. In a few recent years, we've expanded into a couple service markets that we weren't typically in and we really hadn't even thought about, and that's the mining and tunneling. Whether that's for exotic, alkalis and potash, things of that nature, to the civil projects. We've been working on some Swiss Alps projects, mining, tunneling under the Alps. New York City municipal project. Pretty neat. We're not physically doing the work. We're providing some products such as our little blowout preventers to prevent water floods. So, of course, when you're underground, there's a potential to encounter water, and it's not necessarily high pressure, but it does pose a risk. So, we've been listening to some of those segments and been really excited to work with them. Not even just across the U.S., but in Canada, of course, North America, and Europe, and a number of countries in Europe. Been blessed to work a couple projects actually in Serbia, in Japan. So some of our products manufactured right here in Oklahoma City have helped with those much larger scale projects.
That's massive, and
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud, because that product that he's talking about, guys, and you'll see it in the highlight here shortly. It is so lightweight. It was an amazing idea. Was that y'all's idea to come up with the aluminum body and everything?
It was a little bit of feedback, of course. You know, we take what the industry tells us, what our customers tell us. I mean, we're very thankful that they give us the work, and some of the feedback was, of course, underground in these tunnels and these mines. You don't necessarily have, big forklifts or, trucks and things of that nature. So, I mean, a lot of this is just hands-on labor, and wouldn't call it a complaint, but they said, man, it'd sure be nice if this was lighter. So we kind of ran with that, and we redesigned our smaller 3-inch 1500 BOP, as well as 3000 working pressure BOP into aluminum material.
So you guys can take concepts and get them to final product,
which is huge.
That's the nice thing about it being a small company. We take an idea and just we try and cater to the customer and help out their needs. We listen and try and make things happen quickly.
Yeah, he said earlier, he right now, the bottleneck of our entire industry, maybe waiting on a part to be manufactured to put it on a new piece of equipment and test it. Twiddling your thumbs for 2 weeks waiting on a new manufacturer.
We're doing some R&D right now in the shop. You'll see maybe in some highlights. And that's just it. We test some products and something works, and we find something that'll work better, and there we go to the drawing board, literally, get some parts drawn up and send it off to some shops and get parts made, bring them in, test them, and just keep working to get a final product. But it certainly doesn't happen overnight.
No, but it's awesome that you were able to make something and still be in spec for pressure, like you were talking about, and be half the weight. That's amazing.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
Well, how do I get a hold of you if I'm a potential customer, besides just drive over here around the corner?
Yeah.
My email is jpiper@piper-oilfield.com. You can call me 405-670-4456, 800-242-4456. Feel free to comment anytime.
Also,
he takes calls at 3 a.m.
No, he does not. But
we're on call 24/7.
Please hit him up on LinkedIn. It's a passion of ours to connect with more people. So hit him up on LinkedIn. Social media nowadays. Absolutely. And of course, every oil and gas event and meeting he's at, usually with me out there running.
Come see us. We'll have some hot dogs or hit a tee shot.
There we go.
You're bringing the Bronco, right?
Sometimes.
Okay. Right.
That's it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
buddy.
Bye-bye. What you see is some of our inventory of finished and or unfinished raw material to build some of our products that we manufacture. This is our Taurus line behind me. Again, so you see a lot of the rubber packers, you call them.
Yep. Show everybody what a packer is.
Sure.
And look, they're different sizes, different configurations.
So the unique thing about our BOP is the inner packer is 99% rubber outside of two small, I'd say, donut rings on the perimeter. And that's basically just to keep the packers from extruding from the wellbore.
Nice.
What makes our BOP unique is that it's the only BOP in the market that can close around multiple wellbore objects. And one of the primary applications is for ESP, pumps and cable deployment.
Yeah, whereas my BOPs, of course, at night, they have metal inside and they, cut pipe essentially.
Right. So the conventional BOPs are piston close and with metal fingers, and ours is all rubber. It's hydraulic, pressure close, and just pressure release open.
All right, so I see your logo on these valves. What is this?
It is the family name. Back in the mid-90s, we took a proven design compact ball valve and we tweaked it and made it a little better. We made much larger sizes to accommodate the offshore rig market as well as subsea market. Now the valves you're seeing here, they're not technically or really used for those. This is topside valves. It's the Piper ball valve, and we are now a manufacturer's representative for Oil States Piper Valve. We sold the division, the Valve Systems Group, in 2012 to Oil States, and we've been fortunate enough to be a manufacturer's rep still for them. So still get to sell what was once made in this shop, actually.
Yeah, a little bit more compact back then, but yeah, you guys were tight.
A little bit tighter quarters.
A little bit tighter. That's fantastic. And I just want to know, is this for sale out of your shop?
My grandfather always said everything's for sale except my wife and my dog. Not necessarily in that order.
And not necessarily this Bronco either. That's better than this. Runs on oil and gas, everybody. That's why we do this show. Fossil fuel fierceness from Ford Bronco. Thanks, guys.
That's amazing.
I don't even know why there's not a song about the Ford Bronco instead of the Ranger. Just saying, everybody, if there's somebody out there who wants to make a song
I
about
know
the Bronco.
that truck